Emily Wu, thanks for joining me from Singapore. Tell me about you and where you work and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I moved to Singapore just over 6 months ago now, and I work at a reinsurer called Partner Reinsurance, and my role there is the head of the Australia and New Zealand market. For me, my career to date has primarily been in insurance and reinsurance. I worked at CBA in their disputes area, and that's how I got exposure to life insurance and financial services more broadly. And then from there, my career just sort of grew organically, and I've worked across a few different companies now. But I think a lot of where I've gotten to has been because I've had some really great leaders and a lot of people who really supported me to get where I am. So, it's not just your own blood, sweat, and tears. It is also important to have people that mentor you and people you can learn from. And you're one of those people to me, regardless of what you achieve in your own career. For me, to date, the most fulfilling thing has been having the opportunity to mentor other people and then seeing them succeed. It's really hard to describe just how fulfilling that is, to really see someone who maybe lacked a bit of confidence in themselves, or they didn't think that they had the level of talent or skill that you can clearly see, and just showing them this is what you have, and then watching them do something with it is extremely rewarding. So I really hope one day that people I've been fortunate enough to mentor are CEOs or executives that I end up working for.
Tell me how you spend your money.
Well, maybe I need to go into a little bit of history, because my philosophy on money has changed quite a little bit over the last few years. So when I was a bit younger, my philosophy around money was to live frugally. And, some of my former colleagues will laugh. We would go to lunch on a Friday and I would just order a soft drink, and then I would eat my lunch back in the office because I was so frugal and focused on setting myself up financially for the future. And I look back
Where did
now.
you learn that from? That's unusual. I never have been frugal, sadly. Until now I am. But it did not come naturally. How did you learn that?
I think embarrassingly, I was one of those people that lived at home for a really long time until I was 25. And my parents, God bless them, just gave us every opportunity. They wanted us to live very comfortably and have access to all of the things that we wanted to. And part of their way of showing love was by, covering expenses. And then I grew up and I moved out. And for the first time in my life at the age of 25, I realized how expensive living was. For me, that was a real shock factor. And I think I just became a bit fearful, actually. We have these conversations all the time about people who are nearing retirement and they're scared to spend. That was sort of my mentality back then. Oh my gosh, I'm young. I have this whole life ahead of me, and now I've got all of these expenses. I better scrimp and save. So I think that was really the catalyst for why I was so much like that. I'm the children of a child of immigrants. My family migrated to Australia from Myanmar, and they had to start all over again. So I think it was also watching what they came from, having to come to a new country, not speaking the language, and build up your own wealth and assets again was something that I found very inspiring. And I wanted to make sure that I took those lessons and applied them to my own life. But I think now that I'm, a little bit older, and I have a child now, and, you see more and you experience more in your life, I realize it's not really a way to live. So I think there needs to be balance. Obviously, I make sure all of my bills and whatnot are taken care of. My investments are taken care of. And then for me, the next bucket is making sure my son has everything he needs. He probably has even more than he wants. But, putting him first and making sure that he has every opportunity is of paramount importance to me. And then after that, that now I do live a bit. I don't think too much about when I go out. I live life a bit more spontaneously.
You're really quite an impressive young woman, I think, because you're so independent and striking out to achieve things for yourself, which, I think you're born with that, and you definitely have that. Recently, you shared with me that you're getting divorced. You separated from your husband and moved to Singapore from Australia on your own in that separation, and share your son month on month. How did you make that decision, and how much did money factor into that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think, any relationship is trying. Every relationship has their problems. I think money was a big problem. And it seems silly in hindsight, because when you have enough of it, it shouldn't be a problem. But I think for me, and I think a lot of young females fall in this gender trap where you've got a competent partner that maybe also works in financial services and has a good understanding of money, and you sort of play your roles in that partnership. And my role definitely wasn't around managing the finances. When things become a little bit difficult, that definitely weighed on my mind. To be honest, that was a big thing that held me back from doing something I probably wanted to do a lot sooner, is that I just lacked the confidence that I would be okay financially on my own. To share a little bit more about my story is I've always been incredibly ambitious and career driven, and probably to the detriment of a lot of relationships in my life. My career was my first and foremost. My career was everything to me. I let it define me. But in 2022, I quit my job with no job to go to. And I just thought, you know what? I need to be really uncomfortable in life to make something of my life. I want my life to have more meaning and fulfillment, and I'll be okay because I'm tenacious. I'll make it work. So I think for me, that single action was a big catalyst to a lot of other things in my life. My attitudes to everything in life changed, including around money. And it was just that knowing that maybe I need to be in an uncomfortable, insecure position regarding money to go out there and make something of myself. I'm going to have to learn for myself. This is going to be the only way that I can learn.
Well, I think that's a great lesson for everyone listening who may be young and thinking, about leaving the workforce themselves or taking themselves out of the game. Very hard to recover from, even if you can keep your hand in a little bit. Just having some way to generate income equals choices and independence. So, and you're a great example of that, because you've turned what would have been a very painful and difficult decision to leave your marriage and to move overseas into something where it's really working in your favor, and you're actually seem like your relationship is better, and your kid's going to be fine, and like you've kind of ridden through the hard stuff, right? And you're out the other side. So let's get to the functional stuff about money now. So now you're investing your own money. Tell me what you're doing and how you figured it out. You were worried you weren't going to have the skills, but seems to me that you've certainly turned the corner there. And do you have an advisor? So let's talk about that.
I don't have an advisor, no. I think getting the right advice is incredibly important, but relocating to another country, there's a lot of life admin involved in that. So that's something that I haven't quite gotten to yet, but I don't want to sort of halt my journey of money management and investment and just wait for somebody else. For me, I also wanted to try and do it for myself to build my own confidence back up again. So coming here, the tax system is different. It's not pay-as-you-go system like we have in Australia. Here you have to reserve money to pay your tax back in a lump sum. So yes, the tax rate is a bit lower than what you expect in Australia, but here you have to pay it in one go. So the budget for me was the most important thing. So I realize, and I'm so grateful for the position that I'm in. So something else that I've just started doing here in Singapore is volunteering for an organization that supports low-income families with newborn and infant children, right from age 0 to age 2, where your role is to sort of take them the essential supplies, but then sit with these mothers and listen to them. And the family that I'm supporting at the moment, the mother is the sole breadwinner. She has 15-month-old twins. She's the sole breadwinner, and she has aspirations to start to build up some savings for herself. She wants to study, and I just think, gosh, I couldn't have been matched with someone better who already has that motivation. So I really want to try and share and empower other people to know that you could do it. Like yes, money brings security, but you can manifest that for yourself. You could do it. You can do anything. So, I know it's not investing money per se, but that's how I want to invest my time to help other people bring up their level of financial education and knowledge about money, how to generate it, how to save it, what they can do with it to live the best possible life for themselves.
God, you bring a tear to my eye, girl. I'm so proud of you. And the world needs that kind of positivity, and for those who get it, to carry it forward. So well done. Keep going. Thank you for sharing your story. I have no doubt it's ongoing, so I will be checking in with you again. And for those who are watching, any financial planners in Singapore, I'd be contacting you, because I think you're going to be a fabulous client. But I will look forward to seeing your story unfold. Thanks for talking to me, Emily.
Thank you, V. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it.